Netflix has taken the lead and defeated Disney in a big, big way. The industry hesitant to announce it, but we're going to pounce all over it because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? According to Valiant Renegade, financial analyst and purveyor of everything money in Hollywood, well, he says that Netflix is now leading Disney in profits. And that's despite the fact that Disney should be, by every single measure, uncatchable from a single streaming service. But that's what Netflix just did. Hello folks, welcome back to the channel that lifts the lid on Hollyweird and shows you what's really driving that engine of strange. As we get into the news today, all we ask is that you click the like button, drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, just know we're working hard to earn it from you. Folks, it's time for an earnest review of what's happening in Hollywood. It's a big story, it's a paradigm shift. Disney left in the dust of Netflix. It should be impossible. It should be unbelievable, and yet it's here. Out of thatparkplace.com by Marvin Montanaro. Bookmark it if you have not yet. Netflix overtakes Disney in pure profit as streaming giant redefines Hollywood economics. It says for years, the assumption baked into Hollywood's financial worldview was simple. Scale wins. Theme parks, resorts, cruise ships, cable networks, broadcast TV, and century-old intellectual property portfolios were supposed to be unbeatable advantages. Also why Bob Iger bought literally everything in the world. Yet still, Netflix has officially surpassed the Walt Disney Company in pure dollar profit, despite operating with less than half of Disney's total revenue and none of its sprawling physical infrastructure. Valiant Renegade has this one. It says, I've been talking about this for probably close to a year or more. The writing has been on the wall for Netflix to flat out overtake the Walt Disney Company in pure dollar profit. It's quite amazing when you really think about it. Disney has massive theme parks which drive the company along with a massive network of hotels and resorts. Disney has billion-dollar cruise ships, ESPN, ABC, countless TV channels, huge third-party licensing contracts for 100 years of storied IPs. That's a century. And count them, three streaming services. Netflix has Netflix. That's it. Disney probably has about $100 billion in real property on the balance sheet. Netflix has almost none. And even with every advantage of maturity and business operation diversity, Disney is now turning less profit than Netflix, and Netflix is doing that with less than half the revenues of Disney. Folks, this is breaking. It's just happening. Jonas, your thoughts on Netflix now being a more profitable company than Disney and all the size that Disney is?
Well, that's what happens when you actually have something that people want to watch and want to pay for on a frequent basis. There is a little bit of this that's hype around Netflix, but
Disney.
The reason...
Sorry, Valiant just jumped in with a Disney.
Somebody pressed the button for Valiant's video there in the background. And Valiant would say the same thing. They also offer things people want to see on top of offering their woke garbage that appeals to whatever audience is
but
tuning
you're
into
talking
Netflix as well.
You're talking about $150 billion market cap difference between these two companies. And that's despite the fact that Netflix's value has been falling since their 10-for-1 split.
Right. So at the time that this video was recorded, it was about 198 to 398. So there was a $200 billion difference there in market capitalization. And Disney has a lot of assets that Netflix doesn't have. The problem here is that Netflix is a company that has probability for growth. Netflix can go into other sectors and take advantage of new revenue streams. And Disney is about as big as it's going to get. And with the current creative landscape, it can only shrink.
No, Jonas. Disney is going to start building entire cities now. I don't know what they're going to call it. Bobcat, maybe.
It's not working. The storied living concepts have all been dramatic failures. I mean,
how dare you?
The real estate. Well,
how dare you criticize Bobcat? It's great. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the deal. We've got Netflix, which started off as a company that mails you movies, and now they're just a streaming service. And Disney is all of this other stuff. Is it time for us to start changing the way we view entertainment? Netflix is the big company. I mean, I guess YouTube is bigger, but Netflix they're the big kahuna in entertainment now, not Disney. That's a paradigm shift.
I mean, this is fascinating on all ends. You could take it from the fact that Disney's not creating content people want to watch anymore. You could talk about how when you look at the idea, like the brand positioning of Disney Plus, people will just go towards Netflix because they know they're going to at least find something they can put on in the background that they want to listen to. You have that problem with Disney Plus. The shows there, the offerings there are just not very good. You know, for every Stranger Things ending that you don't like, there's an Ozark season 1 you haven't watched yet that you will like. You know, there's more things to discover that has a reliably better engagement with Netflix. It's insane to think that a streaming service that is like requires to be online, that requires a subscription, is outperforming the Disney company. That is an unbelievable thing. I can't believe we're saying that now. Like that's where we're at. But if I just pull up Netflix, there's more things to watch here that are more interesting. But also let's think about what Netflix has been saying over the past, I want to say 6 months or so, but probably before that. But the second screen, the whole second screen philosophy that Netflix has. So now they're making content just with the idea of people having it on in the background. So yeah, maybe sometimes you're going to find that show that you could really hyper tune in, or you'll find something you could just put on in the background and let it ride. Regardless, you're finding something that's going to fit everybody. There's something for kids. There's something for adults. There's something for people that want to have something to think about. Netflix is hitting that. Disney isn't.
But you know what's amazing?
Go to theaters for Disney movies anymore.
What's amazing, Wiz, is that if we were just talking about Disney Plus versus Netflix, sure. But just in streaming, Disney said, okay, you know, well, we're not beating Netflix anymore. We're not going to catch them up like we thought we were under Bob Chapek. Okay, well, we've got ESPN. We'll merge that in. And then they said, oh, darn it, the ESPN's not doing it. What if we bought for billions and billions of dollars Hulu, which was as big as Netflix once upon a time? They have 3 streaming services now that they have injected, and now they're going to bring AI into Disney Plus. They're throwing everything at it, and yet all the rest of Disney combined is getting beat by Netflix. Just little old Netflix. It's insane. It's just ESPN and Hulu should beat Netflix because that's 2 versus 1, and yet that's not happening.
The biggest problem is that they consolidated everything into everything else. They didn't leave them out there as individually viable opportunities. And this is the same thing that I'm afeared of when it comes to Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. Right now, Warner Brothers Discovery is two viable platforms. And rolling them all into Netflix makes one viable platform. So you may have control over more stuff, but you're taking 3 viable streaming services and collapsing them into one.
Yeah, well, and Disney Plus doesn't look anything like it used to now. You know, they used to have real estate at the top for Marvel and Star Wars. They've had to hide that. That's gone now.
Well, but
because you can't do that when Bluey is 70% of your viewership.
Well, and they destroyed it. And again, if you're trying to be family friendly across the board, some of the shows that they collect from Hulu are not family friendly. This is the other problem that, Netflix has. Netflix suffers from, a bunch of auteur garbage that borderlines on child abusive material. So, you've got big problems there. Again, I'm watching Netflix collapse in real time in the market, and I'm watching Warner Brothers Discovery head downward, despite these cash offers that are on the table that they should have, gobbled up from Paramount.
Well, I'm glad you took us there because this is where I wanted to go with Jonas. The question for you, Jonas, is as we get ready to wrap this one up. So you've got Netflix now overtaking Disney in pure profit. That's a big headline, and that's something that we're covering here. Does this add some fuel to the fire? Paramount Skydance saying, no, this actually, we don't think that Netflix should be able to own Warner Brothers and CNN and all this other stuff. Does that put Netflix into a place where they're too big and maybe the feds do need to stop it? Maybe this is a new argument. What do you think?
I think that is a significant argument here that Netflix is larger than all of these things. There are movies that are relatively insignificant, like Flushed Away from Aardman Studios and DreamWorks, that if you put that on the Netflix front page, it will end up in the top 10 of the Nielsen streaming charts. So Netflix is a mover in this area, and they can enact change that Disney would have to put $1 billion of marketing into to accomplish something that Netflix could do just because, well, what if we advertise this one today? So they are a giant. They're bigger than any of the other networks out there from a cultural relevance standpoint at this point, despite the reputations of some of those other companies. So yeah, I would say that at this point, Netflix is too big to not consider them maybe a monopoly risk.
Bad timing for Bob Iger to go out this way, eh?
It's never a good time for Bob Iger to retire, according to Bob Iger.
And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for now, but don't worry. Do not fret. Not yet, for more content is still coming your way 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. What a joy it has been to share our time with you. We hope you feel the same. Adding value to your every single day is our job here, and we take it very seriously. Folks, the only thing we ask in return is that you consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. And folks, if you'd like to subscribe to our partner YouTube channels, That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and some of those radio stations like Vacation Radio, well, we certainly would appreciate it. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time and being invited into your day, folks, we go on our way saying this: keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.